This is Mr. Motopoulou, and in this small session, I will be introducing you to one of our main topics in geography, and actually in one of the favorite topics for discussion for British people. So from these slides, I can already imagine that you know the answer. So obviously the favorite topic for discussion for British people, it is obviously the weather. Okay, and a study has shown that British people will spend over 4 months of their lives talking about the weather. Now, why do we love talking about the weather so much? The reason behind that is because our weather here in Britain is so unpredictable. And you will find out, either if you're in Key Stage 3 or Key Stage 4, you will find out why our weather is so unpredictable. Now, two of the main geographical terms, okay, that we use a lot is weather and climate. And usually a lot of people will get confused. So what is the difference between these two terms? Let me start with the term weather. So when we're talking about the weather, we are talking about everyday conditions. So for example, what is the weather like outside? Is it raining? Is it foggy? Is it hot? Okay. But when we're talking about the climate, we are talking about the average conditions. So usually we need to collect data for over 30 years, okay, in order to give the climate of an area. So for example, is the climate humid? Is the climate hot? Okay, is the climate dry? Is the climate wet? So we can say the climate in the tropical rainforest, okay, a biome, an ecosystem that is close to the equator, the climate there is humid and wet, okay? However, the climate in a desert environment, okay, in a desert biome, is very dry because we have less than 250 millimeters of rain per year, and is very, very hot because the average temperatures are above 35 degrees. Okay? In order to give these measurements, I need to collect data for more than 30 years. So what is the difference between weather and climate? So in a nutshell, okay, is the time period. And actually, okay, when we're talking about the weather is what we get and the climate is what we expect. So we have the actual conditions versus, okay, the expected conditions. So in a nutshell, these are the main differences between weather and climate. So I'm going to help you in this small session to make your own weather station. Okay, so you can actually record data, everyday data about the weather. Please make sure, okay, before you start making your own weather station, you tell an adult about your project because these are for health and safety measurements. Okay, you need to be really careful because you're going to be using sharp objects. So I'm going to start with our main weather instrument, a rain gauge. Okay, and with this instrument you can find out how much rain falls in your area, and the things you're going to need are going to be an empty plastic bottle, okay, scissors, jelly. You will find out it's not for you to eat but to make your rain gauge, sticky tape, a ruler, paper and pencil. So what you need to do, these are the instructions, but I'm going to take you step by step, okay, in order to help you make your own rain gauge. So first of all, you need to have a plastic bottle. And what you need to do is you need to cut around the plastic bottle about 2/3 of the way up. Be careful when you're using the scissors, please. When you're done with this, okay, you need to make sure that your bottle needs a flat bottom to be able to measure the rainfall properly. You can see that our bottles, usually they do not have a flat surface, they're uneven. So in order to make that happen, you can make jelly and then pour the jelly a few centimeters into the bottle to create a flat bottom, as you can see in the second picture. Okay, because if you don't have a flat bottom, you will not be able to collect the right measurements. Now for our third step, okay, you need to turn the top part of the bottle upside down and place it inside the bottom part, okay? Make sure you fix it in place. You can use either a tape, okay, or you might even use paper clips to make sure that the top part is stable, okay, when you place it inside the bottom part. Now, in order to make accurate measurements, obviously you will need to have a unit of measurement placed on your bottle. Okay, so please make sure you make a correct scale in centimeters on a piece of tape, okay, by using a ruler and stick it on your bottle. Make sure that your unit of measurement, okay, your scale starts above the jelly part, okay? Because obviously the jelly is going to be the bottom part of your raincoat. So you need to make sure that your unit of measurement starts above it. Now, when you're done with that, okay, you need to find a place outside to put your raincoats. It must be open and away from trees. The reason for that is you don't want trees to intercept any of the rain. That means you won't be getting correct measurements, okay? My advice would be dig a hole and bury your raincoats so the top of it is sticking out of the ground, because this will prevent windy conditions to blow away your raincoat. Now, really, really important, you need to take measurements every single day, but at the same time, okay? When you do, then empty your bottle and you can start from the beginning. Don't forget to write down your measurements, okay? You can create your own weather diary, and you need to write down your everyday measurements of rainfall, or as we call it in geography, precipitation. Now, the second instrument, okay, you can create by yourself is make your own wind vane, because with this instrument you can actually measure the wind direction, okay, and it's quite easy to make. So these are the materials you're going to need: a ruler, super glue or normal glue could do, a plastic fizzy drink bottle, a card, a knitting needle or large straight wooden sticks, matchsticks or toothpicks, a cork, sand or salt, and blue tack or something similar. These are the instructions, but as we did before, I'm going to take you step by step. So first of all, you need to draw an arrow, I would say maybe 25 centimeters long on a card, and then cut it out. You need to make another arrow by drawing around the first arrow and cutting it out, because then you're going to use them, okay, for step number 3. So you need to place the top of a pen between these two arrows in the center, okay, facing down, and glue the arrows together. When you're done with this step, then you need to go to the next one, which is actually you need to use your corks, okay? You need to use 4 pieces of the carbon and then your toothpicks. So you need to push 4 matchsticks into the long edge of the cork at right angles to each other. Then you need to cut out 4 small squares of card and label them with the 4 main points of the compass. So north, east, south, and west. When you're done with these, okay, make sure you attach them to the end of each matchstick with blue tack. So that would look something like this, okay? And this is going to help you to give the correct direction of where the wind is blowing from. Now, we're going to start using our bottle, okay? Make sure, please, that you fill your bottle with sand or salt, something to keep it steady and heavy, because you don't want the wind to blow it away. And you now need to use the knitting needle, okay? And you need to push it into the cork and push the cork in the top of the bottle. Make sure you balance the wind vane arrows on top of the needle. And this will look something like that, as you can see here in our second image. And at the end, what you need to do, choose an open area, perhaps near your rain gauge, okay, to place your wind vane. Ask an adult or use a compass point, okay, to label north on the bottle, okay, and make sure you know that when you're reading, okay, the wind direction, the arrow always shows the direction the wind is blowing from, okay? So if, for example, your arrow is facing north, okay, it means that actually that wind is coming from north. It's not going towards the north. The wind direction is from north. And now the last instrument you can create, okay, is your own thermometer box. So you can make your own special box to house a thermometer. So what you're going to need is like a wooden box, okay, or a sturdy plastic box that can stand on its side, white paint, and a thermometer and blue tack as well, or something similar. So what you need to do, first of all, you need to paint the outside of your box white and wait until it's dry. Stick the thermometer to the back of the inside of the box using blue tack. Then when you're done, take the box outside and find a safe, shady place to keep it there. Stand the box on its side so that the thermometer is upright at the back of the box and protect it from direct weather conditions. Because obviously, if you keep your box in a sunny area, you wouldn't be getting the correct measurements because the temperature would always be high. Okay, you need to make sure you keep the thermometer in a shady place. As we've done, and as I talked you through taking measurements using your rain gauge, here it's exactly the same. You need to take the temperature readings at the same time every day if you want to have accurate measurements. Okay? And important fact, to measure the temperature accurately, okay, we keep thermometers in Stevenson screens. This is actually a white box, okay, with slats in it to allow air to flow through the box. Now the Stevenson screens face north, which combined with their color and slats give us the best measure of the current temperature without getting too hot in direct sunlight or being too cool in the shade. That's why I've asked you, in order to create this this box, okay, this temperature measurement instrument, you need to paint it white, okay, and you need to keep it in a shady area. Also, you can forecast the weather, okay, by reading the clouds. So how do the clouds look like? So we have different types of clouds, okay? So when you see clouds, you can observe the shape, the color, and their placement in the sky to learn how to predict the weather. Now, different clouds help meteorologists tell what kind of weather, okay, is around them. So in order to do that, you need to go and do your own research. So these are some of the main types of clouds, okay? So go and do your own research on Google. You can even go on YouTube, okay? And your research will help you predict the weather by reading the different clouds we have in the sky. Now this is an example of a weather station, okay, that another student has made. So you can see the thermometer, okay, different weather instruments, record forms. We have our lovely wind vane. We have a rain gauge. And what you can do with these measurements, okay, when you collect your weather results from your homemade weather station for a week, you can create your own weather report. Hope you found this session interesting. And this is Mr. Motopoulou, and we will be back soon.